All right. So good to be with you. So today we're going to be exploring the terrain of the Sacred Mother. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that, unpack that, how we can cultivate a deeper connection to this. Sorry, as I'm admitting people here. To this really essential heart energy that most of us are disconnected from. Even those of us, I think, who have a robust spiritual practice can benefit from, hey, Marilyn, can benefit from this cultivation of the Sacred Mother and our relationship to her. And when I say Sacred Mother, I'm not referring in any way to dogma or religion, though I know that that term is used, in various religions. But Sacred Mother, I'll speak more to this. I'm speaking more broadly and energetically than I am religiously, so more archetypically. Go ahead and let me know in the chat, like, take a moment to connect to yourself, to connect to your breath, to connect to your heart, come all the way into your body. And then just, like, let me know how you are, where you're at this morning or this afternoon, whatever time it is for you. And what brought you to this sit? Yeah, what's your intention? Hey, Brian. Hey, Sabrina. Hey, Danielle. Welcome. We're just putting into the chat what's true for us this morning as we're coming into our Sangha, our meditation and Dharma talk. And oh yeah, good. And then what's your intention? Like, what is it that you most want to feel or receive? Connection is what always brings me. Yes. I love this subject. My heart just really resonates with that. I was noticing that this morning, and for myself, like, craving connection. So grateful to be here. Hi, Sabrina, Marilyn. Feeling pretty good this cloudy morning. Yeah. My intention is to, oh, good. There's Marlene. My intention is to pause, to practice. Yeah, good. Beautiful. Thanks, Marilyn. I like this, pause to practice. It reminds me of the sacred pause, yes? And so though it's so vital and necessary, hi, Marilyn, in our practice to have practice, like, to have a longer sit, right? So to sit for at least, in the beginning of meditation practice, 10 minutes is a good starting point, is what I recommend. And then broadening that to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, once or twice a day as formal practice. But then there's these opportunities that we get to take throughout the day that have been called the sacred pause, which is just like interrupting the momentum of busyness that we often get really caught in. Sometimes if we're really in the momentum, it can feel like holding back wild horses to just stop. And actually that's why it's such good medicine, because like it gives us an opportunity to just pause and check in and like just sense, okay, what's true for me right now? And can I be with that for a minute, for 2 minutes, for 3 minutes without doing anything else? So, the encouragement is to, include those sacred pauses for all of us throughout our day. And so that just reminded me of the sacred pause practice, which I don't talk enough about. Lawrence, So good to see you from Cleveland. In recovery and currently working on developing a relationship with higher power. Ah, yes, Sacred Mama title of talk called me. Congratulations, Lauren. Yeah, beautiful. Devaya, hope you got, I meant the subject, the Divine Mother. Yes, yes. Oh, good. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so it's funny because uh, babies often bring up this sense in us that all the places where we need mothering get called forth. Can you all hear me okay? I'm not in my normal space. Okay, thanks, Marlene. Because we, as I was telling my clients on Saturday, we got a puppy and a baby, right? I have 2 kids, they're 10 and 12, and but haven't had a dog before, and she's so sweet, and so she's great, and the responsibility is uh it makes me call out for my mama, like, and that's a lot of what it's actually the first point of what I wanted to talk about with this topic. And then we'll sit and we'll practice together. We'll spend about the first half, on this talk. Yeah, it's like there's this recognition that, oh yeah, I too, even as a grown-up, right? Like even as a person who, doesn't matter how old you are, I need my mama. I need the mama because the mama is different than our mama. Our mamas did the best they could. Some of us didn't do a very good job. And some of them did, and some of them, it's like it's all everyone has their stories, and there's often a lot of wounding here, mother wounding, right? And it's important for us as we talk about the Sacred Mother, it's natural that we start to sense what our mother wounding has been. Ooh. Yeah. So my heart was like, whoo, I was overcome for a second by feeling. And so hopefully, if we're lucky, and I know this sounds weird to say it this way, our own moms will disappoint us enough that we get the sacred opportunity to take refuge inside of the energy of radical presence and compassion that is available, but not through any human, not through, it's beyond ego, right? It's like, it is beyond. When I brought up a story in the email, when I sent the email for this class, and I talked about how one of my teachers, one of my dear teachers, as I was just talking about the wounding that I had from growing up with my mom, she's been recovered for like 20 some years, but she was an active drug addiction and alcoholism when I was growing up until I was about 17, at which point I'd moved out of the house already. So there was a lot of wounding there. And it wasn't until I was in my 30s and had my first child, my daughter, that I really started to acknowledge my anger with my own mom over rage, really outrage over what had happened. Because up to that point, I had been like more on the end of caring so much about her and her feelings, making sure she was okay. And my story was that happened a long time ago, it's fine. Really wasn't fine. And I came to see after, doing a lot of depth psychological work and, meditation practice and work with my teacher. And one of my teachers, as I was talking about these feelings that were coming up, what I remembered was moments actually when I was a kid, when I would, because I grew up Catholic, and there's all the Blessed Mother, the Virgin Mother, all the archetypes of the Blessed Mother, or everywhere, and the statue, that the image of her just the image of that loving presence would give me solace and peace. And I brought that up to her, and she said, that's a love you can trust. Like, that's a love that never leaves you. Let's start to cultivate a relationship with that. My Buddhist teacher, this is not religious at all. I'm talking about an energy. It's like right here and right now. And it doesn't ever leave you. But in the beginning, when we don't know, and sometimes it's like, I don't know, I'm going to give it a try, but we have to ask. Meaning, we have to acknowledge, this is number one, because I always give 3 points, right? We have to acknowledge the longing. I need a mama. I need mothering. We all do. One of my mentors is 83, and she's still, her mama, her actual biological mama obviously isn't around anymore, but, she too still needs the mama. This need never goes away. And if we keep looking for the love of compassion and presence and softness and understanding, nurturing, in things that are like fallible people, right? I was so pissed off at my own mom because though she was clean, I was like, why don't you, why aren't you what I need? You're still not what I need, And no, of course she wasn't, because what I needed was this connection to the sacred mother. And I really do believe it's what's missing for a lot of us. And we look for love in all the wrong places, like I was, said in the email, right? And so asking, oh gosh, sometimes it's just like mama, but sometimes it's just like, oh, I need that. You can even sense it in yourself right now. Like so much transition, so much going on this last, gosh, it just feels a little relentless, with COVID and all the shifting and changing and everything just shifting and changing incrementally. So we don't have a feeling of like closure with anything, really. If you sense that, there's no sense of proper transition. It's all nebulous and weird and like gray. And that's stressful to everybody. We all need our mama. And so it's like, this is hard. Help. I don't know why this is hard. I'm just having a hard moment. Help. Or sometimes it's, gosh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Or, there's all different ways, just like, we relate to a friend or anyone we have a relationship with. So that's the number one. We have to acknowledge the longing, and then, in that acknowledging of the longing, we can bridge the gap from longing to belonging. Number two, I kind of, mentioned in part one, but number two, we want to take this, the longing is wholesome, y'all. I really want you to hear that. There's nothing wrong with needing things. Our needs are exquisite and wholesome and make us part of the magnificent creatures that we are. But we've if we look deeply, we've demonized in some ways, or we've made wrong our needs. There's a lot of reasons for that. But part of asking, number one is acknowledging, yeah, I have this need. And then number two is it gets to go from the personal to the impersonal, meaning I don't know, there's some wisdom in operation here. I don't give a shit what you call it, but there is a ton of mystery, and there's an intelligence to this mystery. Maybe there's like, a way in which, just by making these needs conscious to myself and to this wisdom, this compassion, that, there's a like a hunger that's satisfied. The heart is soothed. The heart starts to receive a soothing from a reliable source. And you don't have to take my word for it, please practice. I know I could use a lot of space for like deeper cultivation of this relationship. And there's all different ways we can develop a relationship with this motherly whole, like this earthy, sometimes fiery, right? I think about the grandmother. So there's aspects to mother energy, to the sacred mother. There's different faces that she has. Sometimes she's stern, but it's good. It's like, like, oh, that's what I need. It does require us to be tuned into, in my practice, like my body wisdom, because her wisdom is here in my belly, in my heart, yeah. And so personal, from the personal to the impersonal. So we stop beating our heads against the wall. When I started doing this work, and I started painting a lot at that time, painting the Sacred Mother as a avenue, and you might take this up as a practice, to connect to her more deeply, because we have these ways we can connect to her. We're going to do a little bit of that in our meditation, because we can do that too through meditation. But creatively, that was an avenue for me. And it took about a year. And I remember it distinctly, the day when I was with my mom and she said something that would normally have really, really, really pissed me off. And I just felt love for her. And I was like, oh, that's just my mom. She's like kooky and kind of immature sometimes, and really, really kind. And someone you can tell anything to, and she won't judge you. She's got all these facets to her. She's like the crazy cat lady. She even has a sticker on her car that says that, And I just had love. I mean, she still gets on my nerves, but it was not this depth of rage that I had to go through and experience as I opened up to this love that is reliable and always available. So going from the personal to the impersonal. It's not about belief either. It's just about practice, and then noticing what you experience. And then number 3, so it's this energy. So if we speak energetically, and it can be helpful as I'm talking about this, you might notice some people really sense this in their bodies, this care, this compassion. Like the energy of the Sacred Mother is like, I see you. I see all of you. I see the parts you don't want anyone to see, and I see the parts you let everyone see. I see your foibles. I see your beauty. I see all of it, and I just love you. I love the love. It's this love. It's like this enduring love, that surpasses, understanding. Meaning, it surpasses our fallibility. It's like, surpasses all of that, no matter whether we're behaving in ways that are like harmful or not harmful or neutral. It's there, right? And the more connected we are to it, the more natural it is to act in ways that are of benefit rather than of harm, or just not having much impact at all. And so, yeah, it's this out beyond all ideas of right doing and wrong doing. It's this like, ooh, I can just feel it radiating in my heart. And then I have this appreciation for things like, that the immaculate heart, the heart with the flame on the top, and we think of like, and we can think of archetypes. So for some folks, it's like connection is visual. Like you may have an image or an archetype in your mind of like for me, it was, the Blessed Mother, Mother Mary, because of the iconography that just spoke to me, It could be Kuan Yin, it could be some angel, it could be formless, it could be, so there's no, you don't have to box this in. Whatever your intuitive sense is, you can like just trust that it's right. And then, practicing in this way. I think is foundational. You know, this is a foundational piece of our reclaiming our wholeness and our enoughness and our magnificence, is to know that we are adored and loved no matter what, no matter what. And to know this, we have to practice, because it's just not something that we've been taught. But I'm going to leave with this story, the talk with this story. Well, just to sum up, the first piece was ask, acknowledge the longing. Sometimes I think of help or mama, you know, or sometimes it's like, oh, you know, thank you, right? Or sometimes it's like, I don't know what to do here. What do I do? You know, so there's actually like a way we can learn to use our intuition to tune in, but we have to ask. Moving from the impersonal to the personal. And then the third point I talked about was it's the energy of this care and softness, and like, gosh, having like unconditional love. It's like, I mean, that is like that's transpersonal. You know. Oh yeah. Oh, I love that. I heard once, mama is the baby reflects to suckle nurse. That makes sense. I remember my kids, the sounds they made. That mama is the baby reflects to suckle or nurse. Mama. Oh, I just love that. Yeah. So we all need a mama, and this practice, you know, so I think this captures it pretty well. There's a great book called Tattoos on the Heart, and the fellow that wrote it is, I forget his name, but get it if it's a beautiful book. Anyway, the fellow that wrote it is a priest, and he worked with people who are in prison and stuff. You know, just people who'd, you know, had a lot of life experience. It was hard. And he had a woman he was counseling, and she was just so in like so much shame about, you know, that's something with, like, she was an addict, right? So addicts do live with a shit ton of shame because you do shitty things when you're high. Right? So like you just do really shitty things. And hence why, you know, it's like, yeah, in recovery, we often will be really interested in spirit, because it's what soothes, it's what helps. Yeah, when we can't forgive ourselves, there's like no access to it. And that was where she was at. There was just no access to forgiveness. And she was just feeling really shitty. And he was talking to her, and he said, he looked up on her dresser, and there was a picture of a little girl, and he said, is that your daughter? Or is that your child? And she said, yes, you know. And she said, it's the only thing that keeps me going. You know, she is the one good thing I've done, the one good thing. And he takes it, and he says, would you ever judge her or leave her or abandon her because she made mistakes? And she said, no, never. And then he said, you know, spirit has that picture of you on their shelf. Right? We could say he didn't say the Sacred Mother, but that encapsulates what I'm speaking to. So imagine that to be loved that much. We have to remember it, you guys. We have to remember it, because thank you, Father Gregory Boyle. Yeah, that's who wrote Tattoos on the Heart. And so part of remembering it is practice. Yeah. So let's sit. Let's sit together. So just like let yourself be comfortable. And we're like leaning into this nurturing, loving energy. You know, we can be really generous in our posture. Sometimes in meditation practice, it's more useful to like be very alert in the body. For today, we're going to emphasize softness. So, yeah. Just come into 3 ohms together. Taking a deep breath in. Sometimes it feels good to just take a few deeper breaths. And just to sense the expanse of the breath across the chest and the belly. And sense the breath is soothing. Like the breath is breathing you. And in breathing you, it's loving you. You don't have to curate a special experience of what that is. Whatever your experience is, it's right. In any given moment, one of my teachers says, there are a million things right and a million things wrong. Right now, you don't have to manage any of it. Your body is a refuge. Like you can be all the way in your body. You can be so in your body, it's like you don't have a head. You don't have to manage anything about your internal experience. You don't have to create anything or release anything or change anything. Regardless of whether you like it or not, pleasant experiences come and go. Unpleasant experiences come and go. They are not your fault, nor your reward. But an acknowledgement of like, oh, it's like this. It's like a part of our heart comes home to itself. It's kind to just relax anything that's tightened up. You can get really soft in the center of your chest. Really soft in the belly. And we can, if you like, you can just practice putting your hand on your chest. Just notice what that's like. And you can experiment with like the pressure and experiment with even pressure of the forearm, sort of like against the sternum. And just let yourself sort of soften with the touch. And whatever this is like, this is how it should be. So again, as we do these little experiments, just notice how it is. There's no like way it should be. And now you might just call to mind um, Mama, a mother, the sacred mother, a loving presence. Like maybe for you, there's an archetype, like it was for me, or it is still is for me. Maybe it's an image, a deity of some kind. Maybe there's an image in your mind that's just coming through for you right now, a shape, a form, of nourishing, loving, sometimes, fiercely loving energy. Maybe it's some form of nature. Maybe it's like a tree. I'm just imagining this energy, or maybe it is formless, can be internal or external. Notice what intuitive things are arising for you, as I mentioned. These different ways of conjuring up the Sacred Mother, of connecting more to her through either imagination or felt sense. Picturing, visualizing, feeling this energy behind you, maybe extending hands on shoulders, pouring this kindness into you. May you, dear one, be at ease. May you, dear one, feel love. May you feel safe and free from inner harm and outer harm. May you have a feeling of well-being that is unbound by circumstances or conditions. May you, dear one, be at ease. May you feel loved. May you feel safe and free from inner and outer harm. May you have a feeling of well-being that isn't bound by circumstances or conditions. And just letting yourself rest now as you are in her arms. However that makes sense to you. Everything that arises is held inside this care. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. Bringing palms together. Feel like you can seal that with a bow. Fluttering the eyes open. So good to sit with you. If you want to just pipe apart, mention in the chat how you're doing, what's your takeaway, and yeah, these teachings are freely offered, and your donation matters. So your donations, I highly appreciate them. You can Venmo me or PayPal me or Zelle me. Oh, I just really need that all the time. Yeah, me too. Thanks, Marlene. I just want to mention this before we close. Was this helpful for you? I got Marlene's comment, but I'd love to hear from at least one other person. I am going to be opening up 5 spots for in-person meditation on Tuesdays. So we will be Zooming as we usually do, like now, but I'll also have 5 spots open for in-person. So I have space in my office / dojo. That was a vision that I had when we got this house over a year or almost a year ago. But COVID happened. So now it's going to be a possibility. You're welcome. You're welcome, Marilyn. Yeah. So go ahead and email me if you're interested in one of those 5 spots. Yeah, I mean, it'd be like probably 6 weeks of I commit to being there every Tuesday for 6 weeks kind of a thing. Not like, I think I could make it every Tuesday at 9, like, no, I'm gonna be there every Tuesday at 9 for at least 6 weeks. You're welcome, Lauren. All right, loves, you can go ahead and take yourself off mute and say your arrivedercis.
Goodbye, namaste, everyone. Thank you, Karina.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Everybody. Thank you, Karina.
Bye, Divine. Bye, Marlene. Bye, Tiffany.